Scene opens with dramatic, sweeping shots of vast, open landscapes, prairies, mountains, deserts, montage of historical images, covered wagons, pioneers, gold prospectors, railroad construction. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on one of the most defining chapters in American history, the epic journey west. This wasn't just a trip. It was a monumental movement of people, ideas, and ambitions that reshaped a continent and forged a national identity, from the early 1800s through the turn of the century. Millions of Americans looked towards the horizon and saw not an empty wilderness, but a future, a promise of land, of gold, of freedom, and of a new beginning. So, what fueled this incredible migration? It was a powerful cocktail of motivations. The concept of manifest destiny was a huge driver. This was the widely held belief that the United States was destined divinely ordained, even to expand across the North American continent. It was a powerful idea that captured the imagination of the nation. But ideology alone doesn't move mountains, or in this case, people across them. Economics played a massive role. The Homestead Act of 1862 was a game changer, offering up 160 acres of public land for a small filing fee to anyone willing to settle and farm it for 5 years. For countless families struggling in the crowded, industrialized East, or for new immigrants arriving with nothing but hope, this was an irresistible opportunity to own a piece of America. And then, of course, there was the glittering allure of gold. The California gold rush of 1849 ignited a fever that swept the globe. The cry of gold echoed from the hills of the Sierra Nevada, and suddenly, people from every walk of life, farmers, clerks, doctors, sailors, dropped everything to chase a fortune. These 49ers faced incredible hardships, but their pursuit of riches accelerated the settlement of the West Coast at a dizzying pace, transforming a remote territory into a bustling hub of commerce and chaos almost overnight. The journey itself was the ultimate test of human endurance. The most iconic symbol of this era is the covered wagon, the prairie schooner, lumbering along trails like the Oregon, California, and Santa Fe. A typical journey from Missouri to the West Coast could take 4 to 6 months. Imagine packing your entire life into a small wooden box on wheels. Families faced relentless challenges: scorching heat, sudden blizzards, treacherous river crossings where wagons and livestock could be swept away in an instant. The terrain was brutal. From the seemingly endless Great Plains to the formidable Rocky Mountains and the desolate deserts of the Great Basin, disease was a constant, silent threat. Cholera, dysentery, and typhoid could sweep through a wagon train with devastating speed. Accidents were common: a child falling from a moving wagon, a mishandled firearm, or an injury from a spook tox. And while Hollywood often focuses on dramatic conflicts, the reality was that cooperation was the key to survival. Wagon trains were moving communities. People relied on each other for everything: repairing broken axles, caring for the sick, standing guard at night, and providing emotional support during the immense psychological strain of the journey. the bonds forged on the trail were often as strong as family. As settlers pushed westward, they were not entering an empty land. They were moving into territories that had been home to hundreds of diverse Native American nations for thousands of years. The massive influx of settlers, the construction of railroads, and the near extermination of the bison, a vital resource for many plains tribes, led to profound and often tragic conflicts. This clash of cultures was a complex and heartbreaking chapter of the westward expansion. Treaties were made and broken, and the way of life for native peoples was irrevocably altered as they were displaced and forced onto reservations. It's a crucial and somber part of this story that we must acknowledge and understand. The taming of the West came at a great cost. The railroad was the iron sinew that truly bound the nation together. The completion of the first transcontinental railroad in 1869 was a monumental feat of engineering and labor, largely built by Chinese and Irish immigrants who worked in perilous conditions. Suddenly, a journey that took months by wagon could be completed in about a week. The railroad didn't just move people, it moved goods, mail, and ideas at an unprecedented speed. It spurred the growth of cow towns in the heartland, as cattle drives brought beef from the ranges of Texas to the railheads destined for the dinner tables of the East. The Wild West of cowboys, cattle barons, and dusty main streets was born directly from this new iron artery. By the end of the 19th century, the frontier, as a distinct line between settlement and wilderness, was officially declared closed. The epic journey had reached its geographical conclusion, but its impact was just beginning to unfold. The westward expansion defined America's character. It ingrained traits of individualism, resilience, and an unshakable belief in self-improvement and opportunity. It also left a complex legacy of conflict, displacement, and environmental change that we are still grappling with today. It created the myth of the American cowboy, a global symbol of freedom and rugged independence. It built cities out of dust and turned vast prairies into the nation's breadbasket. The story of the journey west is the story of America itself, a tale of bold dreams and harsh realities, of incredible courage and profound tragedy, of human ambition on a continental scale. It's a reminder that our history is written not just in books and treaties, but in the wagon ruts still faintly visible on the prairie, in the ghost towns dotting the mountains, and in the enduring spirit of exploration that continues to push us toward new frontiers. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through history. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. Let me know in the comments what part of the westward expansion you find most interesting. Until next time, keep exploring.